Hard to believe, but the MNRC event is once again dealing with unfortunate weather. The rain has set in and ended Friday's practice early. Now the track crew is working hard to prepare some trouble spots for evening practice and qualifying day tomorrow. The track construction here at Rick's Hobby Farm is led by renowned track designer Dave LaRue. Dave and his crew have built another amazing layout to challenge the MNRC regulars. They have designed a simple lighting system to illuminate the track circuit, and it does a pretty good job. This will allow the racers an opportunity to get on the track yet tonight after the rain delay. The weather is looking clear for the rest of the weekend, so we should have a pretty smooth racing program from here out. It's qualifying day and Alec is making a return to the truggy class for this event. Corey did a complete rebuild on Alec's truck. New TRB bearings, new shock and differential oils, and a fresh clutch. Alec chose Sweep Defender T tires for his first run. The track has a fairly loose surface, so they should be well suited for this condition. We also get our first look at the flow of this track. The finish line double has plenty of run-up and is a nice flyer. This back jump has you smashing into the takeoff and landing gently on the downside. This roller and corner section could be easily overdriven, resulting in a slower lap time. Another little roller jump, followed by a nice flying double. You need to take care with this double and land smooth, making the front stretch jump routine. Super close, tight racing, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. You don't want to overjump these rollers, but you don't want to short them either. All the way down to fifth place. Doc and him scored Van Dalen Whiting. Must right there too. For Whiting now to the point. Alec is having a pretty good run here. His truck appears a little loose under power, but is rotating nicely through the corners. Dalen comes across. He's in fifth place right now with 11.624. Hims 11.623 in fourth. Ford 11.622 in third. And Dawkins in second with 11.620. Bruce could see Alec coming and pulls out of the racing line. 4 minutes down, 2 minutes to go. Alec can see Sean Van Dalen in front of him. You can see the posture of his truck change as his driving becomes more aggressive.
Jim's right there, Van Dalen right there, Lust within charging distance, David Holmes 10.606, Ignajuicy 10.606 with a 2. Great racing all the way up and down the board here, guys. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go.
Those were some extremely tight turns, shortening every bit of real estate to close the distance to Sean.
Ross is looking forward. Perfect. Ford Lighting, Doc, and Hens, Van Dalen, Lust, Ignajuicy, Fine Home, Rains, and Klink.
Sean, on the other hand, has a knack to invoke beast mode when he needs it, and has picked up the pace. Sean gets a little wide there and they almost collide. They both have an A group run going, so it is important to not require a marshal.
6 seconds behind. Alec Inns now up into the 3, knocking down the 4. A whopping 0.5 seconds back. We only got 30 seconds left in this race, and it's still undecided all the way down to the 5th position. Any one of these guys could take it. 15 seconds to go. Ford Lighting, Kim's, Doc, and Van Dalen left. Fast lap right now. Jeremy Lighting, 33.51 is in second place.
Time has expired. That was a great start to the day, putting Alex solidly into the A group for the next rounds of qualifying.
Josh Ford across. Keep going, keep going.
A little self-marshal there on his final lap, but it doesn't affect his time much. Brody Ignajuicy is out on the track and getting ready to run his qualifier. Brody took the 3rd step on the podium in the last MNRC race, so he will be looking for that top spot this weekend. Next up are the buggy heats. Alec and Brody are ready to rip.
35.0 for Whiting, 36.5 for Hens.
The track is already beginning to dry. You can see the early development of a hard racing line in the corners and acceleration zones.
36.6 for Tompkins, puts him in the number 4 spot. 38.3 for Beavis, on to the 37.3. Logan 40.6 and Savannah 41.5. 33.9 for Van Dalen on the second lap.
Alec has a pretty good run going. He is running second behind Seth Van Dalen, the only 2 on an 11-lap pace. Staying smooth and mistake-free, Alec avoids his competitor's misfortune.
After 3 laps, it's Van Dalen, Alec Hens, Brody Ignajuicy, your top 3.
Brody Ignajuicy has moved into 3rd in this heat, so things are going his way also.
The current TQ, set by Kyle Holder last round. Alec Hens sporting with an 11-lap run. He's in a 10.600 with an 8.
Alec has faded to a 10-lap pace, just outside an 11. He will need to get on it and make up some time.
Van Dalen in with another 33.8 to start to find his rhythm.
Alec is quickly catching some of his competitors. He will need to get by them quickly to maintain his goal of an 11-lap pace. He is being patient, looking for a let-by. Alec gets a little frustrated and dives to the inside. Contact is made. It didn't affect Alec too much and was an unexpected outcome from the contact. A little mistake and Alec lets Jeremy Whiting go. He just needs to finish out without errors and put a good time up.
He's on an 11-lap 6:33 though. Only two on an 11-lap run in this one. Van Dalen and Hins. Whiting in on a quick spot now in front of Drew Dawkins. Drew Dawkins got Brody and Yashevsky all over him on the clock. 8:10 separates those two. Oh, nice clean move. Oh, Hins getting a little bit of rub there from the tumbling Whiting, but doesn't seem to slow him up much. On the ball right there.
Alec would finish out a good run. His day is off to a great start. It is the end of the day. The track has changed. It has become hard-packed with a rough racing line. Tony Sletton from Team Associated here getting his final laps in for the day. The grip level is up, even with the rough groove. Alec is also putting in his final qualifying laps for the day. His driving has adjusted to the traction. He is trying to carry more speed through the corners versus throwing the car in. It should be a good day of racing tomorrow. The Truggy B final is preparing for their start. It is a cloudy morning and the track looks tacky. There is quite a techno army in this truggy event, with over half the competitors enlisted. Sitting on the pole is Matt Lust with his Kyosho truggy. Matt's truck looked great in qualifying, and is not his normal whip. Usually you would find Matt at the wheel of a buggy, so he has changed it up for this weekend. The start is awful, so Sean calls it off and announces a regrid. The second try is much better, and Matt gets away clean at the front. Here comes Matt for fuel. He is putting on a clinic in this one, running well out front of the field.
Matthew Ross, Tony Swenson, Grant Olson, Matty Ostead. Kyle Kloss now in the front.
Here comes Maddie Orsted for fuel, with Seth Van Dalen on the gun. She is out and away, putting in a pretty good race with Jimmy's loaner truck. Others start cycling in for their stops. Here is Tony Swenson with the copper bullet. Jimmy stands ready for Grant Olson, also known as Money, to make his entrance. A quick deposit at the bank and he is off. That is a major league catch by Rob Logan, as Stefan Ben Nende comes in hot for his nitro. Here comes Jason Klein, his Alpha Dragon engine is ready for a drink. Looks like they have chosen to bottle feed that monster. Dale Reek is marshalling this race. He is one of the best marshals ever. If you are going to crash, be sure to do it in Dale's corner.
27-second lead for Matthew Ross. He's got Kloss.
Matt Lust would go on to take the win. Tony Swenson and Grant Olson would follow, punching their tickets to the A final. Maddie Orsted would just miss the bump, coming in fourth. A pretty darn good showing for just coming in off the bench, so to speak. The Nitro Buggy B final is getting ready on the grid. This one will surely be a battle, with the Ignashevsky brothers, Grant Olson, Carl Quast, Frank Miller, KP Rains, CJ Wise, Drew Dokken, Rob Logan, Chad Johnson, Kenny Bethus, and Pablo Ayas. All of them capable of winning this event and bumping into the A final. Brody Ignashevsky will show them the way with his Miyako buggy. Pablo Ayas starting second with his HB, and KP Rains in third with his Mugen. Looks like a pretty good start. Brody and Pablo are away cleanly, and looks like Drew Dokken in third. There is a little bit of a gap as the racers get sorted. CJ Wise has moved into the 4th position with his S-Works buggy. Grant Olson is making a charge from the 11th starting position and has moved into 5th. That makes 5 different chassis manufacturers in the top 5 positions. Trent Ignashevsky is putting his Miyako to work and makes the pass on Grant. Brody is still leading Pablo, but is feeling the heat. Pablo is keeping it close and appears to have a bit more pace in his HB buggy. Pablo, the flying Hawaiian, would eventually make the pass, but Brody keeps his foot on the gas and stays close. The race is closing in on the first pit window. It is about to get busy in pit lane. Frank Miller is in first, followed closely by CJ Wise. Here comes Brody for his fuel, still holding down the second place transfer. Rob Logan follows Drew Docken into the pits, then Trent and Grant behind, making for a busy pit lane. All make it out without incident. Track designer and constructor Dave LaRue looks on at the mayhem he has created, with a slight smirk, I may add. Sean Van Dalen, the race director, has things well in hand. He runs a super efficient program with no surprises and no BS. The battles would continue on. Eventually Brody would move back to the front after Pablo had some kind of mechanical issue. Drew Docken would seize second position, and KP Rains would rise from the ashes to take third. The Truggy A final is underway. Alec and Brody are hanging tight in the 6th and 7th positions, staying cool and maintaining clean laps. He went out on Sweep Carbide T tires. They look pretty good in the groove. As the dust increases, they would become a little loose and unpredictable. This race is about 5 minutes in, and the leaders are still close. They just need to keep it clean and work together to march to the front. Ben Sovacool has taken over the race director duties for this event as Sean is on track and running strong in 4th. Alec has continued to charge and has moved into the 4th position right behind Sean Van Dalen. These guys have battled before and know each other's racecraft. Neither is easily shaken, and neither are likely to make mistakes, well except for maybe an over-greedy race line. Alec will need to gather it back up and try to close the gap once again.
Oh, we got one upside down. That's Josh Ford coming into the chicane. That's going to allow Bonner to open this up even more. Long race, so we got a ton of time left. 10 minutes, 15 in, 10-15 in. Oh, Whitey with it upside down. Holberg right there, puts him back out onto the track.
Alec is really pushing it. It appears that Sean may have invoked beast mode, as Alec's lines look quick and aggressive, but the gap is not shrinking.
Just a tiny bit of room between the two of them. And he's looked a little bit quicker through that S-section. 11 minutes in, 11 minutes down. We got 19 minutes to go. Bommel, Ford, Van Gale on the end. Bommel leads 14.3 seconds right now. Over second place, Josh Ford. Josh Ford just moving into the interior, headed towards the chicane. In and out of the chicane. Bommel crosses the start finish line right there. Pretty well set. Alec has an 8.4 second gap between he and the 3 spot, so something's going to happen. And you know things can with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
Unfortunately, Sean would have an incident which would drop him all the way to 8th.
Nice fast lap by
Alec's new target would be Drew Dokken, whom currently is sitting in 3rd with only 4 minutes to go.
7 seconds.
He has 7 seconds to make up to contend for that 3rd spot.
4 minutes to go.
Alec would close the gap to Drew and actually make the pass for 3rd. Unfortunately, an incident with a lap truck would bump him back to 4th.
Much pressure as you can. Cheerleaders out there trying to cheer them all on.
The next race for Team Paintworks is the Nitro Buggy Final. Alec will be starting in the 8th position. The team found a dent in his alpha pipe, which certainly could restrict exhaust flow, so they have made a quick change. Unfortunately, it is not the same model pipe, so some tuning had to be done. Hopefully it has the performance on the track. He went out on sweet pixel tires, and would later say the carbide may have been better due to the dusty surface.
I just calmed down in my truck race and just let the flow come to me. It was good. Still didn't have racing luck. I'll take it. I had a fun time. Good racing. Good friends. Kyle Seff, Josh Ford, Jeremy Whiting in the 4, Brent Baumel 5, Clayton in 6, Tony Slutton in 7. Alan and Nate, those guys are all...
Alec's car looks okay. He is staying with the lead cars only a few seconds in front of him.
Gets it back up. Seth's starting to pull away from Ford now. Oh, Kyle a little loose. Seth looking to the inside. Can't make it happen. He's right there. Kyle blocking. Oh, Seth looking to the inside. Oh, man.
Seth Van Dalen is currently out front, but is in a battle with Team Associated's Kyle Holmberg.
Yeah, those two are gap in the field. Hardcore 34, 32 from Seth, 32.7 last lap. Oh, Seth went to try and go over the top. Landed directly on top, 332 laps.
Alec is finding his pace and is closing the gap to Alan Smith and Tony Sletton.
Stretch out the lead to 3.7 seconds over Holmberg. Josh Ford in that 3.
Alan would make a mistake putting Alec right on his wing.
Tony Slutton, Clayton Card, Luke.
Alec would make the pass, but has zero breathing room.
10:15 into this one. I don't know if anybody's doing 10-minute stops or not, but 10:15 into this one. Van Dalen now with a 6.5 second lead over Holmberg. His last pit stop was a 30.
Alan would make a slight bobble, but gets the factory roll.
His lap right now, a 33 flat. So that is a 6-second difference. A 6-second.
He then tries to stay tight on the tube over the back double, and it bites him.
He's got Whiting on his tail. Bonnell in front of him.
Alec would continue on, running good clean laps. He would finish in the 7th position in the end. 4 of the top 7 drivers were running team associated cars, so a pretty good showing for the Region 7 team.